You know, there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
This is Pinky and Jonzey of the D.O.O.D, and you're listening to the BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father. And as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome Jonzey and Pinky of the Distinguished Order of Disobedience. The dude... So, the dude is a nationally touring theatrical heavy metal band out of Sarasota, Florida. The dude have released 4 studio albums, and they have released their first single called Kill the Light off their upcoming 5th studio album entitled Firefly, which is coming out this August. So, Pinky and Jonzey, how you doing? And welcome to the show.
We're very well. Thank you for having us. How you doing?
Doing awesome, doing awesome.
It sounds super sexy when you say it that way. Kill the light, kill the light. Little Southern gentleman talking to a couple Southern belles.
Uh-oh. We may be in trouble. We may be in trouble. Oh, no.
Already? We just started. Because we're just that damn good, aren't we?
So how have you all been doing, and how excited are you to hopefully get back out on the road soon and do some touring soon and play some shows?
We've been clawing at our own faces. Like, we went so many years playing, like, 2-3 nights a week, every week. Like, I'm talking, like, 4 or 5 years. Just we positioned everything in our lives around, you know, like, our future dreams and shit. And suddenly on St. Patty's Day, 2020, it was like, nope, you're not doing shit. And to take a band like us out of the cycle and kind of leave us to our own time for too long is you learn a lot about your limits.
It was tough for sure.
Yeah.
You know, we had a whole tour planned.
We had a lot of shit planned.
We had stuff planned. We always loved playing, like, Connecticut and New York and that area up there.
Pennsylvania.
And we were really sad that we had to call and cancel those shows.
And we don't do that. Like, we only cancel.
And I call them all sad. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we can't come. They're like, we're not even open. Oh yeah, because in Florida, we're wide open down here.
Yeah, we don't give a shit down here.
Yeah, we're still playing shows. We played shows in at the Brass Mug specifically.
Yeah,
they said
like
that
the CBGB of the
that
South.
they had to close and that they weren't allowed to sell alcohol. And so it was really cool because all of our friends and fans came anyway. We drank soda pop and ate popcorn.
Well, we were doing package there. I mean, I actually bartend there. This is Pinky, by the way. I bartend there. And so we found a little bit of a loophole. We got the little Jello shot cups, and we were able to, like, sell to them and say, okay, go somewhere else and drink it. And so we kept people happy that way. And there's always a way.
It was really awesome, though, to see people just come to our shows and hang out anyways.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit.
But it's really nice to be back on stage and be fully open. And,
yeah.
And having the Nationals are starting to cruise back through, so that's super exciting.
Really big fun for us.
A little Southern ingenuity on how to get some alcohol in there somehow, some way. There you go.
I said, Florida, we ride out the hurricanes, like the rest of the world's like, oh no, we're like, party! You know, you can't kill us down here. We're very virile.
But did this time give you
Hunker
all?
down.
But did this time give you all?
That's what we're gonna name our next album. Hunker Down.
Hunker down.
You heard it here first.
But did this downtime give you all a lot of time to start working on new stuff? I know we're going to talk about this album coming up, but I mean, did it give you guys some time to write new stuff, new material, other than this album?
Definitely a brainstorming period.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and to just bring all of our styles together, because we have so much diversity in our band, you know, that we have to find that common ground in the middle. And so it was good to just have a little time to explore all of the different styles and sounds and
be able to bounce all of our individual ideas off of each other too. Like, we're very collaborative. Like, we all love the same stuff, and then at the same time, the six of us, I think, kind of have our favorites about things, and we're all very receptive to each other's ideas and passions, and we always find the right combination. But it was always seeming like we were working so hard where the time kind of lacked to be able to really fine tune that aspect of it. So if there's a silver lining, this past year gave us a chance to just be able to go in a little bit into our souls in places we haven't had a chance to, and create things we'd always kind of thought about but never had the time to really get physical with.
Get physical with physical.
First single off the album is entitled Kill the Light. Were there any other singles that possibly could have been the very first single other than this one?
Well, Kill the Light was certainly the first time we played that one live was at the Brass Mug, I believe. And we kind of knew in our hearts, like, we were actually really happy with the outcome of it. And we were like, well, let's see what the audience thinks of it. And we were 30 seconds into that, and we just looked at a packed room and we're like, this is the one. Like, and then
there's definitely some strong ones coming up though. Ultraviolence,
Indie wrote
is really good. The New Viking,
Viking. Like, they kind of hit between the three.
There's definitely some really good ones. And then we have another one called The End that we're working on. We definitely have some really great songs coming up for you guys on this album.
And we're going to keep it a little spooky in some aspects, as always. Like, it's kind of, I think, where the dude started on was just kind of going for the shock value, the spooky factor of it.
A bit of that, a bit industrial. I don't know. We all like different things, right? Raynus likes kind of that more thrash metal. Pinky comes in that more industrial side. I kind of like the screamo and the brand new stuff. So everybody brings something to the table, and it's trying to find that common ground. Right. One of the hardest questions for us as a band is, who do you sound like? What is? It's whatever the song calls for. So, sometimes I don't know. We have songs that are more punky. We have songs that are more, heavy oriented, sludgy, industrial, more hooky and poppy. So it just depends on what you're, what the song calls for.
We share a lot of common ground, like with our love of like Slayer, Sepultura, Anthrax, Pantera, Rob Zombie, Exodus. We love Exodus.
If you hit the floor, you can always crawl.
Yeah. I mean, we all have a lot of common ground, but then there's that one, like, each of us kind of have our favorites.
Oh no, I just cannot get Brian to rap stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a Jonzey mission there, but
some rap rock, man. We got some
I do
awesome
too.
Stuff.
Yeah.
This is the Distinguished Order of Disobedience upcoming 5th album. How does it feel to have a new album in the D.O.O.D music library, especially a 5th one, because some bands don't even get to see that?
It's very exciting. It's very inspirational. It's very, we always tend to kind of take a moment back. Like, we're always grind. And the minute we don't have a choice but to stop and kind of sit down for a minute, it's like, whoa. Like, we're kind of looking at it at a whole. It's like, holy shit. It's exciting. And it's very, I don't know, it's like our drive. Like, we see what we can do, and it's like, well, what else can we do? Like, how much more can we throw out there?
I remember in the beginning, like, one of my big goals was just to make a album that I was proud of, and I've done that over and over again. So
I think we all started out as babies, and not ever thinking we'd ever get as far as we are now. Now it's like, well, how much further can we go?
Yeah, and it's super exciting. It's all, at this. It's the same as anything else in life. It's about, getting to know that the people who are listening to your music and making sure that you're making a connection with them.
That's a very big thing for us.
And I think that's one thing that we have going as a band is we really try to connect with the people who come to watch us, and they feel that connection.
Our fans are our friends entirely. Like, we make sure we get them on social media. We stay in touch with them. We're intimate. Like, if they have a baby or something awesome happens in their life too, we try to celebrate them as much as they celebrate us. So
that's awesome.
Here in Tampa Bay, it's a big family. Like our heavy metal scene, it's just one big loving family on so many different levels. It's really an honor to be right in like ground zero of it all. It is.
Yeah, and I mean, we've traveled around to a lot of places looking for what we come home and find right here. Like the Tampa Bay metal scene,
and you really don't find it.
Super strong. So
there's so much love. I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, my father was very supportive of my love of the industry, and he just told me there are no friends in metal, only family you haven't met yet. And if there's anything our band has found to be true, it's certainly that, you know. Well, here in Tampa Bay, and we've gotten a great response everywhere else we go, too, I think.
One of the things I think is kind of interesting is when we go around, people seem to be surprised about there being women in metal. But here in Tampa Bay, that is not a strange thing.
No.
Like, there are many, many bands that have female vocalists, guitar players, bass players, drummers, anything you want to see, you can come to the Tampa Bay metal scene and you will find that the females are rocking out on the stage. And I love the fact that the men in our metal community just hold us up like metal maidens. They support us and they love us. And
it's true equality.
It's a beautiful thing
in our scene.
But I've gone around to other places around the United States and they're like, what?
Yeah.
There's girls in this band?
Band?
And then they're not sure what to think of us. And then they're that much more blown away after they see us. And they're like, holy shit, you chicks bring it. We're like, oh, yeah. We love it just as much as you.
But if you love female musicians, check out Tampa Bay metal scene. We have tons of them for you.
I can't even go down the list. We'd be here all night. There's so many. And like she said, like they do everything. And it's like we're all brothers for lack of a better term. Well, I always call Jonzey, she's my brother, my babe, you know, she's my ride or die sister for sure. But I mean, I feel like all the women as well as our scene, you know, whether if you're a guy or a gal, I don't feel like the gender is really even an issue. I feel like it's just you have your passion. When you're on stage, it shows, and you know, you bring the magic. And
our song Brothers is kind of about that.
Yeah,
it's about
for sure.
It's about the local scene and lifting each other up, and you know, trying to get noticed. Not one band is going to get noticed singly out there, but
if we rise each other
together,
up,
we could all, you know, we could make the Tampa Bay metal scene strong, and then we can get noticed that way. And so Brothers is about, you know, just really lifting up, and you know, quite often you will see us not, you know, out at not only our shows, but at the shows of other people that are playing out.
Oh yeah,
we post everybody's flyers, and you know, just trying to make the entire scene more than
For the most part, in Tampa Bay, the bands, we all share each other's show events, like the links, and if anybody's got a new single coming out, we all support each other here, and really that's all that matters, is that we're just a big family and that we stay that way. We want to rise as a kind of entity rather than, you know, be at each other's throats like we've seen in other parts of the country where there's just so much competition. It's hard to see where anybody can get anywhere because they just can't be happy for each other here. Everybody just truly loves each other.
Were these songs that had been written previously, or are these new, fresh songs on this album?
They're all new and fresh songs. We had some of the riffs, so when we had some extra time that we were going back during COVID, we just revisited some of the riffs that different people have, and we bring them to the table and jam on it and, you know, see how it changes and evolves and grows, and we go from there. So all the songs here are brand new songs within the last year or so.
Were you all a little nervous releasing anything right now since due to COVID?
We were too excited.
No, I was too excited. I wasn't nervous at all. Like we knew that we had, first of all, a special song, but then working with Matt LaPlante, like when I went in the studio and he's like, you know, the third cymbal in the chorus didn't quite ring out the way, I was like,
it was meticulous.
Yeah. It was like every single tiny detail. We went in with, you know, into a valued studio that we've heard of our whole lives around here. Rick Duncan, we got to go in and record with him. And so having the two of them sitting in a room together is
very surreal.
Yeah, it was amazing. And listening to the tiniest details and making sure that we had it right, it was really, really super awesome. And then getting a chance to turn right around and make a video with somebody in the scene who does really good videos out here. And just building up the Tampa Bay metal scene with Kill Devil Films. It was a really, really super awesome experience.
His videos are...
So working with Matt, did he get something out of you all that maybe somebody else might not have gotten possibly? Did he push you to your limits on this?
He definitely
had to push, but he did it in such an awesome way. Like, we've known him for 10 years, but it wasn't in a way that was intimidating. He was just like, nope, do it again. Mm-hmm. You can do it better.
Like, he saw something in us that I don't think we saw in ourselves, and he challenged us to make sure that came out through our song. And, I mean, I think every bit of us went through a couple minutes of, like, a little stress period. It was like,
and then I also just want to give a big shout-out to Mike Partee, because he came in at the last minute for about 3 years in the dude's history. He was our singer and guitar player, and he's no longer with the band. He's gone on and done some cover stuff as a drummer, and we called him up. We were like, hey, we really need you to come record this song with us. And he stepped right in, and he was super excited about the new song and the writing process, and he just nailed it on drums. So just a big hurrah to Mike for coming back and helping us out with that.
Yeah.
What's impressed or excited you all the most about making this album, if anything? Is there anything that sticks out the most for the both of you, possibly?
To me, it's just perseverance.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what everything's about, is just
especially this past year.
Yeah. Just life's a struggle. Everybody has their own struggle, and just be kind to each other and lift each other up, and let's pull through it.
There's no reason you can't do something, or you can't do anything with, love being a part of the agenda. In this past year, I think really it was sad here in Florida. A lot of bands that were like right there this year it was hard on everybody, but it was a lot harder on some people, and it was hard to watch some of the things that were there pre-COVID that are now gone forever because it was just too much, or it hit them at the wrong time in their journey with, their dream. And
in Florida, a lot of people who are in, especially like the music scene and stuff, are also in the service industry. We took a really big hit this year.
It's a big struggle.
So it's been a struggle for all of us to just, just keep it moving forward. So
it's always been a juggling act, but for this year too, you've really been put to your test as far as prioritizing yourself, your life, your time, your dreams. When you're a band, we believe you're a family, so you need to think about them as well. And it's just handed us a lot more than we saw coming. And if you can survive it, it's certainly worth it. And we're big advocates of inspiration and love.
Yeah,
and we're coming for you. Here we come, world.
and you're right. This COVID has hit people so hard, and I try to step back when people are extremely rude to me, especially the job that I have. I try to step back and not, try to be an ass bag. You know what I'm saying? And just be like, hey, look, they may be going through something that I have no clue about.
People are not at their emotional best this year.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think that, we have to be careful, because through all of this, we've had a lot of close calls, but I've had more close calls in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Than the whole time this has been going on. So, we just got to stay vigilant and take care of each other.
That's what it's all about. Again, like she said, our song Brothers, it's amazing. Like, the bands in our scene, they'll see another one kind of maybe going through a little something here or there, and they don't hesitate to extend, like, hey, do you guys need this? We can put you on our lineup. You guys busy this weekend? Or just whatever the scenario calls for. Someone's always reaching out, asking how they can help.
And even Kill the Light, I feel like, that's kind of what the idea behind this song is that, you just have that dream, and you're just going to hold on to that. Life's a struggle, and through all that, you're just going to hold on to that dream. And if you just keep marching forward and you just keep plucking at it every single day, a little bit at a time.
If you're talking to a lot of the members in our scene, because we're all close, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've found over the years, like, a lot of us come from a very similar childhood or background for whatever reason or another. As a journalist, I like to ask the question, like, what's the song that saved you? I mean, there's no doubt in my mind in our scene, the music saved almost everybody in our scene. So that song, Kill the Light, especially after this past year, everybody we know is still trucking after 20, 30 years of following your dream. This was the year that almost slipped through our fingers.
Called Weed Out the Week.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just, you can't kill us. You can't kill our dream, our light. It's just the metal is our light that keeps us going. It's definitely well, for me, it was a passion project on a lot of levels.
So my favorite band is Mudvayne. Dig! Right? You just got to keep digging.
Yeah.
Just keep digging. It's gonna happen, but you got to keep pushing forward.
I can't believe they're coming back.
Smash that share button.
Yeah, I can't believe Mudvayne's coming back, but we'll see if they got a new album up their sleeves. So that's what I've heard. I don't know how true.
That in, but yeah.
Rammstein's good. Rammstein's a good band. Rammstein's a hell of a band.
They are. You know what's really weird is a person made a post the other day, and I was like, my first CD, I remember, was like a ripped CD that was like handwritten with Sharpie on the front of it. And I'm like, I swear to God, it had to be like 20 years ago. And I looked up. They started in 1994.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have been around for a really long time. And in the beginning, I would like try to turn people on to this, and they're like, "What are you talking about? Who is this?"
I still run into that.
And then now, finally, I feel like I meet people who know who they are.
27 years later.
27 years later.
As a theatrical entertainer, for me, I grew up in a big, like, Alice Cooper home, a lot of, Wendy-O, Rocky Horror was huge. And then I discovered, Spooky Kids when I was about 9 years old. Manson came up in Florida. The Genital Church came up in Florida, which I got to work with. And then I discovered Rammstein, and it was always a big inspiration, a big pull. And, so there. And to, like, be able to tell people, finally, like, she hit the nail on the head to, like, tell people Rammstein's an inspiration. Now, 27 years later, they understand why.
They know what it means.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to 1,000 shows, and it's still the best show I've ever been to.
I miss them. I've never been.
Oh, dude.
I've never been.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know it must change every time that you listen to it. I know these are your babies, but are there any that stick out for the both of you possibly?
To me, the new Vikings is an amazing song.
Lyrically, for me, it's very amazing.
Yeah, it has, again, this just like
plowing through the bullshit.
Yeah, just march into the future and survive kind of thing.
I mean, who had to fight harder for survival than, like, I mean, not too many had to fight harder than the Vikings.
But then
there were some riders
out of it. It also has this, I don't want to pigeonhole it, but it has like this, to me, this awesome essence, this epicness that like an Iron Maiden song or something would have. Like this, you know how Iron Maiden always talks about like these historical things,
overcoming, and just
and it just has that. And obviously, as a bass player, Steve has to be like one of my favorite bass players.
Yeah.
So to have a song that I feel like emulates that epic journey is really cool to me. So I think the new Vikings is probably one of my favorite songs off the new album.
And with all of our albums, we try to tell a story, and definitely Firefly is going to be probably our strongest one of surviving.
So we have like When Push Comes to Fight and Playtime in the Apocalypse, and then Buttercup, which if you look at the album is kind of like finding the one flower after the apocalypse,
finding the hope through the chaos.
The hope. And then now comes the Firefly. So I feel like we're on this little journey as a band.
It's the result of the hope.
Yeah, the Firefly to me is this little hope. So,
like, you remember being a little kid and catching a firefly and just being so amazed that this simple little creature wasn't so simple, and it just could do so. It was just like the light in the palm of your hand, just the way your dreams are. And it stays alive there as long as you give it the time and the room that it needs to evolve. That's kind of what it's about. Everything's very kind of metaphorical for us.
Yeah, there's definitely hope. Firefly to me is the hope after it all.
Yeah.
So.
Was there a song that you were working on that totally ended up sounding different than intended to?
Oh, we have a couple of songs about that. We have this weird little circusy thing that has not exactly...
We haven't put it out yet.
Found its final form. It was, if you listen to our last album, we have this song called The Bottom.
Oh, yeah, the intro.
That's, like, really fun.
And the story behind how
weird, like, chanty thing. And so, like, the circus song, I feel like that's going to happen to it, but I don't really know where it's going to go yet. So right now, it's still in the fun stages.
Well, like, when you're at the circus, like, what is it? You got your element of surprise. You know, you're like, ooh, you don't know what's coming next.
So
and the anticipation, we're very big on that.
I'm not really sure where it's going to go yet, but I'm super excited to see it. I feel like it's like the surprise song.
And it lends itself to the whole.
It's not done yet, and I'm not really sure where it's going to go. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be fun, because that's what we have in common. We definitely have the fun thing going on.
Do you see the band still musically growing from the debut album? Do you see it still going outside that box and exploring?
Always. We've been doing this a really long time.
We've all been in music way longer than...
But one of the things I think that stands out is if you watch us perform as compared to other bands, is you will see that we are all performers.
It's very loosely structured.
So you're not sure who to watch.
Right.
And if you come to the next show and watch somebody different, you're going to get a whole different show. Like, that's... Like, we had to, like, say, like, what's the one thing that I think distinguishes us from other bands? And it is the fact that we are all supreme performers. You're not going to come and see a band that's looking at their pedals and their feet.
Right. Like, I came on as I've been doing theatrics and stage choreograph for 25 years. And when I joined this band, one of the first things that I noticed is that they're not all just amazing at what they do on their microphones or, instruments. These are very passionate people, and they're all very much entertainers, performers in their own, relevant ways.
And we will not be ignored.
Oh, no. I mean,
if you're ignoring us, it's like free cheese on the island.
We'll jump off the stage and just...
I will climb on the bar.
Oh, yeah. We will laugh at rafters.
You're not ignoring us.
We're spitting blood on you, or...
It's going to happen.
You're getting a paper ball upside the head or something.
We played this one place at the Southwest Florida Event Center.
We were with Schism.
They're an amazing school band. So we walk out, and it is the most beautiful stage.
It was one of the
bougie places we've ever played. It was
People are sitting down eating like $70 steak plates, and here we are.
I'm like, Pinky is not going to shoot silly string at them.
Yes, she is.
Oh, yes, she is. Oh, yes.
Pinky's not going to get drug out by other tables and spit blood on people.
Prime rib with a side of silly string. Oh, no.
And nobody was even mad. They all loved. They were like, "Oh my god!" They were like wanting us to take pictures with their silly string covered steaks and shit. It
was great. And then we played this song called "Plowed," Enduring Plowed.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Somehow we had this idea. It was my idea to do a paper ball fight. So right in the middle of the bar, we have this total paper ball fight. And so I'm like, she's not really going to throw paper balls at these people eating like lobster and steak, is she? Oh, yes, she is.
I jumped right off the stage and got in the middle of their tables. It was firing the shit off from
And I will tell you, these people joined in to the party faster than most people.
They were picking the stuff up.
They were annihilating us with these paper balls.
They were throwing them back.
Totally awesome.
I know.
They responded very well.
I know a lot.
We do pool noodles and paper ball fights. We're an interactive band.
Our ultra-violent song is kind of based off the Clockwork Orange film, So
we pass out pool noodles?
And we cut them in half, and we wrap our stickers on the handles. And I come out with, like, a for-real pink baseball bat, and I'm dressed up in my Malcolm McDowell outfit. I get on the drum, and we start throwing the audience is having fun, just, like, wailing the shit out of each other with these pool noodles. And if they don't really pick up the cue, I'll put my drumsticks down, Jonzey will grab her bass, and we'll take them down to the audience and just start slapping people at each other, and then they start getting it. So
we are a totally interactive band.
Or we'll just bring them up on stage with us. Like, if we're not in a position to where we can, abandon our stage, and we'll just be like, we'll look at people like, get up here, and make them a part of the show.
I know a band that played a nursing home before.
I'm not opposed to that.
I would love to. My mother worked in a nursing home all my life.
I feel like on top of my 410 cabinet, I could just put like some handlebars.
Yeah.
And I could just roll in rocking that shit. I could even turn around and sit down.
Oh my God.
Like you do on the rocker, except the rocker will be like my 410. Listen, so I gotta say this. Dark glass. Dark glass. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Wow. I got my new dark glass. Hashtag call out whatever you have to do to dark glass, because I got this microtube head. And for years, I traveled around with this huge stuff. And then I got this dark glass micro head. It is so beautiful. And I called this guy. I was like, I need an 18 on the bottom. He's like, no, you don't. I was like, I need a 15. He's like, no, you don't. You need this 412. I was like, no, I need this. He's like, no, you don't. You need this 412. He's like, you call me. If this cabinet is not enough, I will send you another cabinet. And I had to call him. I was like, I stand corrected. Like, this cabinet it's so beautiful. Our sound took a huge jump up when I got my dark glass cabinet. So I don't know if you can hashtag this, but wow.
Yeah.
Dark glass, amazing.
What do you hope everyone takes away, or message you hope they hear while listening to any of the dudes' music in general? What do you hope they get from when they listen to it?
Love each other, lift each other up.
Yeah.
You can't kill the light. Like, lift each other up, help each other out.
The world's going to throw enough shit and hate and, discouragement at you. And the world is such a competitive, broken place right now. And if there's anything you take away from our stage show, our music, our album, is that it doesn't have to be that way. You can be family. You can a simple act of kindness takes literally no effort. Just go through life with hope in your heart and love, and just be kind to each other. That's really all we want.
Everybody's got a struggle.
Yeah.
Everybody's struggling. Lift each other up. You don't know what the next person's struggle is.
When you go out to lunch and that waitress might seem off her game, don't judge her immediately by her job performance. You have no idea what's going on in her life.
Be nice.
When you go to the grocery store and you see the 85-year-old lady who's probably been busting her ass her entire life, bagging your groceries for you, help her out. Just lift them up. Just the simplest little random acts of kindness, or something I've seen that really upsets me a lot is people have kind of forgotten how to be happy for each other. I mean, I understand some of us, and I'm not going to go into it, but from a personal aspect, I definitely felt the wrath of the lower end of the spectrum of people.
Celebrate each other.
Assistance this past year. A lot of people suffered. Some people suffered harder than the worst, and just you never know what someone's going through their damn day, and there's no reason not to be kind to each other, no matter what. Just don't have a knee-jerk judgment on people. Just try to
find the reason to do it.
Yeah.
You can't kill the light. Find the one reason.
Instead of letting the reason to judge somebody come out first, take a look at what they are doing right. Think about what it took for them to get out of bed and go on and do their day.
Yeah.
And appreciate them for it. Maybe compliment them on it in some way. Just there's no reason to be ugly anymore. There's no tolerance for it. There's really no reason for it.
Okay, Pinky and Jonzey, here's the question for both of you. I know you had a lot of music growing up and a lot of albums. What was your favorite album or go-to album that you both had to have, possibly, that just affected you, as giving you inspiration, or just let you escape for a while? What was that one album, possibly, or song, maybe?
Do you want to go first?
No, I want you to go
I
first.
will say, for me,
I feel like you have an answer quicker than I do.
I have two, actually. I had a very troubled childhood, and I was one of the very overweight kids in school, bullied. My childhood in school was a nightmare, very typical, stereotypical, and I had a sick father growing up a lot of my life, and I was a very wayward, kind of lost young individual, and Tim Curry was always a big inspiration to me. My father and I bonded very heavily over the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Conan the Barbarian as well when I was a younger girl. And my father always understood how imagination was my safe place as a very, very, very young child. And I would say the first heavy metal album that I identified with and rescued my soul would have been the Lunchbox EP by Marilyn Manson before he put out Smells Like Children. The whole song Lunchbox about the kid just trying to get through his day. And here in Florida, it was a big thing. I guess the kid got really tired of getting shit kicked out of him and going home wanting to shoot himself, decided he was going to take one of the old school, was it a metal lunchbox and just beat the shit out of his bully. And they banned and that's where the plastic lunchboxes came out. But I remember when I heard that song, that album or that, EP, I'll say I grew up definitely a hardcore fan of Manson because of his bravery against censorship and the way he stood up for the underdog. He kind of bullied the bully of all establishments, and he kind of took after the youth and kind of let you are not alone. Someone gets it, and here's your song. Here's your anthem. If you ever forget, you can play this song, and someone gets you. Someone loves you and understands you. So if I had to really, really narrow it down to one, I would say it would be the Lunchbox EP.
Good choice.
I can say I remember going to a show, like, I don't know, it seems like a million years ago, and I was just learning to play bass. I've always been a musical person, but just beginning to understand my instrument. And we were at, I want to say it was probably Livestock, and 98 Rock put on this thing called Livestock. And we were there in the middle of the day, and this weird band that nobody heard of called Mudvayne came on, and they still had like makeup and stuff on.
They were kind of baby Mudvayne.
Yeah, baby Mudvayne.
Baby Vane.
And baby Vane. And then like for the first time in the entire day, everybody at the show just kind of stood up and started to take notice and move to the front of the stage
and pay attention.
And I was like, wait, what are all these people doing? Why are they watching? And then I remember seeing Mudvayne for the first time, and I recognized maybe one or two songs off the radio. But when I saw Chad and the boys, and they were still in makeup, it was so long ago, they just blew my mind. Yeah. And I will never forget, like, seeing live Dig.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, if one word could encapsulate everything that I do in my life, it is like dig. Just keep digging, like, because the dude, we're not new.
Oh, no.
I don't know what you know about us, but
and we're not easily.
We didn't start in 2020.
No.
Or 2010.
Before I joined
2007, the dude was starting our journey on this.
This is Pinky. Like, I remember going to see them, like, when me and Brian would go to Gallery Billiards here in Bradenton, Florida. I had just found out about them. Brian was already friends with them, and I remember I was like, these guys are fucking, like, you could just smell their hunger. You could see their passion.
Mm-hmm.
You could
and that was so
many
years ago. And just like,
and we were a baby band.
Digging, dig.
Baby
that
band.
was like 7 years before I joined the band, and I was already in love with them. And so when they asked me to be a part of it, I was like, fuck yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad that Mudvayne's going to do some shows, and possibly I would say they're going to, I would say they'll put out an album. That's just my thoughts. That's what I've been hearing, so we'll see. But yeah.
I know. I do love Hell Yeah, but I'm a Mudvayne.
Oh, sure.
fan.
Yeah.
Right?
Rhino! What?
And as far as going to the show, the whole inspiration.
Rhino's the best player ever.
He can thump on a bass like nobody's business. I mean, he is good.
Oh, yeah. He's amazing.
Please let it be known that he is my favorite bass player ever.
Well, you and Scotty Ian are mine, and then there's
I'm just saying, we don't need a pick.
All right.
No.
All right.
Nobody need a pick down here. We're doing fine without our pick.
Yeah.
All right, folks, you want to get out and pick up the dude's new album. It's coming out in August. And also check out their single, Kill the Light. And also get out and pick up their other stuff as well. Support this band and give them a chance. So, Jonzey and Pinky, how could folks stay in touch with you all? Buy some merchandise, tour dates when everything gets back together, keep in touch with you, talk to you all. How can they do that?
And the best way to stay in touch with us and to keep up with our current and our future endeavors and the upcoming things is to go to the DOODband.com, D.0.0.D, thedudeband.com. And there's links to all of our videos on there. Every one of our albums are on there. You can purchase our albums, each of our songs individually. There's a personal bio about all of us and our, histories, how we got into the industry and why we love each other and what we do and where we're going forward. And we're always updating it. So
thedudeband.com, D.O.O.D,
thedudeband.com.
And before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Absolutely.
Please.
This is Pinky
and Jonzey
of The Dude, and you're listening to the BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Hour Podcast. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and you definitely want to subscribe to the YouTube link because we got a lot of stuff coming up and giveaways, and maybe some louder-than-life tickets also for this September, and we'll see who all headlines that show. I know Mudvayne is one of them, so you want to stick around for that for sure. Also, check out The Dude. Check out their new single off their upcoming album called Kill the Light, and you definitely want to pick that up and support this band, buy their merchandise, all that good stuff. So, Pinky and Jonzey, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck from here on out.
Thank you so much for having us.
We love you.
We love you.
Puddles and Chewy forever.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.